Hey, legends, welcome to the Pot Noodle. I'm your host, Jared, and joining me is Shane. How you going, Shane?
I'm good, mate. I'm very good. Apart from the fact that Luka Doncic has left the Mavs. If you
I was
take that
gonna
into
say,
account, I'm very bad.
don't lie, Shane. Like, I had to send you that info during the game, a basketball game yesterday, because I saw it. I was like, what? And he's got it on his shoulder. So you're feeling the same way any kid who got the Kyogo top for Christmas is feeling at the moment. Like, not ideal.
Absolutely, it's the ultimate fear when you really fall in love with a player that you think's going to be there forever, and then they're not, and you can't really work out what to do, and you just don't recognize the same team without them. But yeah, apart from that whole set of shenanigans, which yes, you did reach out to me while I was at an event. My phone was going nuts yesterday, and I thought, what's going on? And yeah, I had a few people reach out and say, have you heard the news? Apart from all of that, I'm doing well. It's a bit warm, tad warm.
I was gonna wind you up on the weekend saying, haha, suffering your jocks, mate. Like, the Mavs lost to the Pistons. And then I forgot to do it, and I thought, okay, I'm going to come onto this pod tonight wearing a Detroit Pistons hat just to wind you up subtly. And then the Luca thing happened. I'm like, no, he's too fragile. I can't do it to him.
You're a very kind man. A lot of people would have really twisted the knife. I know a few people in our group who definitely would have twisted the knife.
Oh yeah, Dan,
Not
of course.
naming names, not naming names, but you're a very kind sir, and I appreciate it. But good to see you, sir.
There we go. So yeah, we'll got a little bit to talk about tonight. So we've got the Motherwell game. It's transfer deadline day today, so we'll have a chat about the current rumours and random crap we've been hearing, and then we'll preview Wednesday's game against Dundee, which is the game that was called off, if my memory's right. I'm sure we'll go on a few tangents as usual, and who knows? If any of the other boys in the pod get back home in time, they might jump on it sometime during the episode, but I doubt it. But we'll see how we go. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Appreciate it. If you haven't done so, I know I was checking the stats the other day, and I think it was showing that 51% of people who watch our shows have subscribed. So if you're one of that 49% who hasn't, please hit the subscribe button. And then the others, everyone else, just hit like, helps us with the YouTube algorithm. So we appreciate that. So, Shane, we had a interesting win overnight. So, happened for us at an absolute crappy time. Like, ridiculous thunderstorms and all stuff was going on here to the point that I couldn't even get my internet to work to get into my stream to watch the game. So I had to sneaky watch the first half at some point during the day and the rest later on. So my view on it's going to be a little all over the place. So I'm probably going to have to refer to you a little bit on that. So we'll go with the usual starting lineup. So I think there was only a couple of changes going into it. So if you have a look, Maida came in, obviously. He was suspended midweek. Middle of the park, McCowan came in. So Luke started. And then down back, Ralston got a run out, which was I was actually pleasantly surprised with that. For me, I'm looking at that going, he's always solid for us in the league. A game against Motherwell shouldn't be anything to be worried about. And it gives Johnson a rest before we go into a Champions League game middle of next week. I think it is if my maths is right. Probably isn't, but yeah, I don't think it is actually. But he's had a bit of a tough run of it. So yeah, overall, I thought we had a really good lineup out there. What was your thoughts going into the game, Shane?
Yeah, me too. I was similarly excited to see Ralston get a start. It's been a little bit of time. I think he's a more than handy backup and someone that can play in the league. So I do love it when he gets his opportunity. And also, I'm a big Luke McCowan fan as well. And I always love seeing him get a run out as well. And this is the perfect kind of fixture where you want him in the midfield. So, and then obviously, I think the rest of the squad really picks itself. So, yeah, those two changes in particular, which were the real obvious ones for me, I was really excited by both of them, and you're really keen to see what they both produced.
It's kind of funny though going into it because I can't remember what group chat it was in, but there was as soon as Ralston was on the team sheet in one of the chats, someone was like, "Oh, Ralston's starting. We're playing a man down," and then a minute he gets the assist for the first goal. I'm like, just you just want to just you just give him a rough time, but I thought we were playing the Bricky out of position, Shane. Playing him at backup right back. Well, realistically, shouldn't he be as a backup striker? We need one. The Bricky can score goals. Just being a little bit silly. So yeah, no, I thought it was good in coming in, and Luke was good in there as well. And yeah, Kelmack's 500th game for the club as well. So yeah, that was a great one for him. I just thought he played pretty average, all things considered. But yeah, what was your overall thought on the first half?
Well, first of all, I will. It's a pretty big achievement, 500. So I'll raise the tinny to Kelmac and say congratulations to 500. Here's to 500 more. Let's be honest. If there's anyone that can do it, Kelmac can. My overall thoughts of the first half. I thought we were really good, and I don't think you get much better than scoring in the first minute, which is exactly what we did. And it was quite a contrast to the midweek fixture against Villa, where we were 2-0 down after about 6 minutes. So it was nice to actually be up very early in the game, particularly in contrast to that result. But overall, I thought we played really well. I thought particularly in the opening 20 minutes, we really controlled the game. I thought they really struggled to kind of get any sort of foothold or real proper defensive structure in place to stop us playing through the lines. I thought in particular, our midfield was working really well, especially Hatate and McCowan. I thought they were both picking up really good areas where they were getting the ball, and they were both linking up well, particularly with Maeda. Obviously, the goal in the first minute's pretty remarkable. It's ball fizzed in from Hatate on the left to McCowan, who nods it around the corner, releasing Maeda. Maeda fizzes the ball across the box. Like, it is full on. Like, Ida would have had to have been Superman to get on the end of that. But second phase, right? And this is where Ralston comes in. He can put a good ball into the box, Tony, and he did exactly that. That's an inch-perfect cross. And Maeda, to give him his credit, that's a really good header from someone we don't really associate with actually nodding the ball in, right? He gets up, he gets over the top, and he puts it past the keeper, but he goes the opposite way the keeper's going. It's a really, really smart finish.
On that, Shane, the best part of it is Dayson did his work before he even jumped. Like, normally when you see strikers, like, the ball goes in and they just jump and then they try to do all the work with their neck. If you watch the wide angle of when that cross comes in, you see him, he leans onto the defender, then takes 2 steps back, so then he can take a step forward and jump and get a clean hit square onto his forehead to where he wanted to put it. So just that little bit of lean, 2 steps, make space, and then bang, go and attack and win the ball. That, for me, shows a football intelligence that a lot of the times when we see Dayson, we just like, if he doesn't have to think, he's better. Just let him just get his foot on the ball and just tap it, just smash it in, right? When he has to stop and try and beat a man, sometimes he's a struggle. So that was great to see that football intelligence and how he worked the defender and got him out of position so he could get the space he needed to header it. So that was class.
Absolutely, and really good to call that out as well. It was smart football all around, not just obviously the finish, but the actual work he did in the build-up for it as well. That positioning. It just showed a football nous that we all love to see, really, and he profited from it. And then I thought from there we were relatively in control. It took them about 20 minutes, I thought, before they finally sort of kind of got into a state where they made it difficult for us to play through the lines. And then I thought the game sort of petered out a little bit until they scored, which was, if I can go into detail about that, pretty unexpected. So they got the ball on the break. This is in the 23rd minute, I think it was. They got the ball on the break. Thompson puts the ball in. I'm sure Armstrong pushes CCV and impacts him from actually getting on the end of that. Trusty, he's not expecting it to fall to him. It breaks kindly for Armstrong. He puts it in. I'm a pessimist, so I was like, there's no way this is getting overturned, even if it looked a foul in real time. Then when I found out who was in the booth, I said, there's no way this is getting overturned. Just accept it and move forward.
Absolute joke of a call. Clear foul.
And that's the thing.
That's not green tinted specs either. That is, if that was us the other way, I would say the same thing. Saying it was a joke, we got away with it.
And that's the thing. Like, you've got to look at that and say how there was some commentary that was around the fact that maybe his presence was enough to basically have Carter Vickers mistime his jump. Garbage. He's impacted. He's impacted his ability to nod that ball. It's I couldn't
He's
believe the
pushed
ref
him,
missed
Shane.
it. Yeah,
He's clearly pushed him. The only reason it wasn't overturned is because it wasn't two hands pushing him. It was clearly only one. The other hand was up but wasn't on him. So that's why they haven't overturned it. But it's
terrible.
a clear foul. The fact that he extends a hand and pushes Carter Vickers so that he cannot get any power to jump up and try and contest that completely takes him out of the play. It's a foul every day of the week.
Absolutely. But like I said, I didn't think we were going to get that, so we move forward. They were slightly buoyed by that, but that didn't last very long. And what was really impressive is the fact that only a couple minutes later we went 2-1 up again. And almost somewhat of a carbon copy to the first goal, really. Ball gets fizzed into McCowan, who's taken up another good area at the edge of the box. Flicks it around the corner first time to Maeda, plays him in brilliantly. All Maeda has to do, first time across the box, Eder's right there to tap it in. Wonderful goal, and really important that we scored so soon after. Then from that point forward, I thought we controlled the remainder of the first half, really, and went in rightfully 2-1 up at the break.
So I got a couple of things here, Shane. Number one, their guy who scored, Armstrong. I don't know how to place him. He looks like either someone who would compete in wood chop or the guy who would, like, if you were to ever be going to school and you had those lollipop ladies to do the cross thing for primary schools and secondary schools, he's that guy. He's one or the other. I can't figure out which one he is, but he definitely does not look like a footballer. So he looks like he's someone that would love to live in flanos and, have a wood fire going outside in his shed.
You've just made him the most Australian person possible.
I've made him a hiccup in the Montana ranges or something like that in America too. Some hillbilly, someone up in Appalachia or something like that. There you go, drinking moonshine and whatever. Yeah, his guy does not look like a footballer, but yeah. Anyway, the thing I wanted to talk about the second goal in particular. First goal, yeah, it was early, it was quick, right? But to see the second goal, how good is one-touch football? We've been banging on about it for ages, Shane. Like, that's the thing I miss the most about under Ange. If we don't press now and we recycle, fine, but I want faster ball movement because it allows our players to show their skill and their technical ability. And both of our goals in the first half were off the back of that. Actually, our last goal as well was off the back of quick ball movement. So, all things considered, I'm really liking what I saw in the lead up to our goals. I thought we completely outplayed Motherwell in the first half, except for like a little 10-minute lull before they scored. But yeah, we were the better team by a mile. Our football was good to watch, and I was just happy with the result at half time. I wasn't happy that they scored, and it was an absolute shambles of a call. But at the same time, we were actually playing some good quality football.
Yep, wholeheartedly agree. And I thought the pace, our ball movement, and our pace of play overall throughout the match, apart from a couple of small lulls here and there, I thought overall it was very good. And that was from the first whistle.
I have a question for you though, Shane. How was the pitch? Because Fir Park has been repeatedly voted the best pitch in Scotland. Like in the last decade, I remember winning that like 6 or 7 times. So the speed we were playing at, and you're at that stadium on that pitch, I can't remember because of how I watched the game if that had much of a factor on it or not.
I don't remember any issues with the pitch. I don't remember any
Okay.
bobbling or anything like that. I thought it played very well. I thought the ball was skinning across very nicely. And I think you could see that by the way we were playing. And I think we actually played to our strengths on that pitch.
Yep, 100%. So I'll go through some comments, but what I'm looking at here is there's a lot of talk about transfer stuff. So I'm going to not really bring up any really many comments here until we get to that. So yeah, I'm just having a look here. There's not really much there. McLaughlin was saying, I had Ralston a score or assist in my bet builder. Paul Galanti saying, brilliant cross from Ralston for the first goal. Smell the glove is the Bricky always gives his all.
Yep.
Yeah, so here's a question. That's 99 goals in all competitions now. Who gets 100 on Wednesday? I'm gonna go off on a tangent here and say our new signing. I don't know who the new signing's gonna be. We'll talk about that later.
I'll go Jota.
Nice. So yeah, just when we get to the second half, Shane, what was your thoughts on that?
Well, I thought it was very similar to the first half, but I thought not only was our pace of play still very good, and I thought that we were shifting the ball well, I also thought we did a better job of trying to get the ball kind of over the top, or for lack of a better term, around their kind of midfield and defensive block. I thought there were a lot of times where Hatate and when he came on, Engels were getting the ball deep, sort of near the halfway line, and they were looking to play that ball and arc it around to Ida, who's made those runs. And Ida himself was sort of more dropping into those channels as opposed to necessarily sort of staying up front. He was dropping into more of that kind of right-sided channel to sort of link up with Kun a little bit. And I thought we were really doing a good job of trying to take out that kind of midfield and defensive block that for all intents and purposes, did stifle us for a little.
You there, Shane? I think Shane's frozen. There we go. So yeah, we'll I'll just jump in while Shane reboots this. So yeah, for me the second half was just a lot of more of the same as Shane was saying. Speed of play was there. The range of passing was short, long. It was all things considered, found it quite enjoyable. And yeah, it was good quality, good to watch. And then we've got Shane coming back in here, so we'll let him finish off his thought. Get you to finish off, Shane.
You know what's funny? I should have just come back in talking as if nothing had happened and just pretended and just kept waffling and pretended I didn't notice that I got disconnected. I hindsight, the beer. I'm not as quick with the beer. Anyway, I thought we played very well in the second half. I thought the slight tweaks were very good. I thought the subs that Brendan made were very good. I think there's a few talking points around Yang coming on, the positioning of Jota and so forth. But the final goal lent into what we were talking about, which was obviously that pace of play. So Engels gets the ball in, Maeda arcs a run. The centre half is favoured to win that ball, but Maeda sweats on him. And it's that pressure that he's known for. He forces him into a mistake. He's able to get the ball, look up and play it across to Jota and finishes. And we saw a very emotional Jota after he scored that goal. You can see what it means to him to be back in the hoops and scoring in front of the Celtic faithful. But all in all, I thought a very comfortable second half performance in the end and a very well-earned 3-1 win.
100% Shane. So just bringing up some comments here. Smell the Glover saying Kelmac looks like he really needs a rest. And then McLaughlin saying can't see Jota starting until Wraith. And there's like a good run out versus Wraith could give Jota the opportunity to start versus Munich rather than Yang. I think that's the plan. Remember in his first stint, it would always take a few games to get him up to speed. So in fact, he's got 25 minutes into him or something last night. And then if we can get another half hour, 40 minutes into him coming up in the next game against Dundee, and then gradually build it. So he's good for the first leg Munich in particular, where we're without Maeda. That'd be perfect. Smell the Glove is saying Jota will play. He needs as many minutes as he can. I think he also needs a good feed. He's looking a bit scrawny. Anyway, heavy vibes. Luke had a good game, non-stop running and passing.
Yep.
Quality player. And then McCowan was linking up really well with Maeda.
Yep, no, I agree wholeheartedly.
And then, so Jerry Burns is saying give Kelmac a rest against Dundee, see how the midfield gets on without him. Typhoon McFlustery is saying, good morning, lads. Thought Trusty looked like a rabbit caught in the headlights. He needs to get that out of his game.
I'll give him an out for the goal, that broke to Armstrong after the push against Carter Vickers, because I think that's just a reaction from a situation he wasn't expecting. But there were just a couple of times, and there was one moment in the second half where he got pressed and he just looked really shaky. And I agree with that comment. Sometimes it looks like he needs to sort his feet out. Um, I've seen enough from him to know that going forward, I think he's our option. But there's definitely a few sort of heart and mouth moments that I think he needs to sort out.
Yep. And then Paul Birrell saying, hope have assigned a left back and a new striker. And then Smell the Glove, McGeady, the heartless bastard. You know what he's doing? He's auditioning for a job on the normal commentaries because, you got to slander Celtic to get a job if you're an ex-Celtic player. So he's going for the Chris Commons soup taker role, and hopefully he can piss off because that was pathetic. I love the emotion from Jota at the end there. Like, see how much it means to him. Like he took his move, but for him it's like something's that it didn't go well for him in that 18 months, and he's back home at a place where he's loved and supported, and there he is out there giving his all, scoring a goal on the return, and he's just, the guy deserved it. He's just a class act. He gets the club. He's not from Scotland, but to him, that's home. You can tell that about him. He just wants to be there. And I'm going to go on a little tangent since we're talking about Jota. Number 7 shirt, Shane. How much does that fits him perfect, in my opinion? Like, Palmer's gone, Robert Gibson. You're loving life right now. But I'm just looking at it going, I was talking about it with my wife on the weekend, and I'm like, number 7s, you had the King, you had Larson. Then the next number 7 that I thought the shirt wasn't too big for was when Scott McDonald wore it. Then I can't really think of anyone between Skippy leaving through to Giakoumakis wearing it that the shirt wasn't too big for him. Then Giakoumakis moves on. Who gets the 7 after him?
Oh, you're testing me now.
Because I can't remember that one.
It wasn't Palmer, but I can't remember either who it was off the top of my head.
Yeah. And then...
it wasn't Haksabanovic, was it? No. He was 9. He was 9, that's right.
Yeah. But anyway, then you end up with Palmer with the 7. And then now you get Jota wearing the number 7, and it's like, he gets the club. We know what he's capable of, and he's not going to be overawed by wearing that shirt. So for me, it's just a perfect setup.
I agree wholeheartedly. And I don't understand how anyone can criticise the emotion that he showed, really. I thought that was actually a really nice moment, a really nice touch of just what it meant for him to be back. You've surmised it perfectly, and I'd suggest anyone criticising it probably needs to look at themselves, because that's a moment that should, I think, be beyond that, really. So, disappointing to hear some people have gone on to critique that.
McLaughlin saying Aidan McGeady's a disgrace. And then you're saying Boyd's just as bad. You'd think Boyd would be fully aware of mental health issues. What happened to his own brother? And then Henrik McLaughlin saying, not sure McGeady had that love. He was respected but not loved. Yeah. And then the Pork Chop Express is, I have a tear in my eye every day. It's a tough work having a fried noodle. But then John Clements is saying McGeady didn't get the level of love from the support that Jota gets. Jota was adored, then spent 18 months in the wilderness. Emotions understandable. Yeah, I think I got something in my eye when I saw that goal, just FYI. But yeah, it was it's just a class act. It's great to see Jota there. And Smell the Glass saying Celtic are an emotional, romantic football club. If players want to cry with joy, let it flow. 100%. Couldn't have said it better myself, Smell the Glove. So, because of this whole situation with the people giving him a hard time, had to name the episode tonight, Welcome Back, Jota. And it wasn't me naming the episode. My wife came up with it. She goes, it rhymes with the whole welcome back Cotter sort of thing. And Jota's an absolute hero. So I'm like, I had to. So welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. That's about all you'll get from me there. Yeah, Shane wants
I,
to like.
I'm not.
Shane
I'm
wants
not
to-
singing. I'm not singing. No way. We've
that
got
was
we've got plenty of viewers on the stream. I don't need to send them off right now.
Shane. I got the voice of a drunken angel. You've got to be drunk for it to kind of not want make you want to rip your ears off your head. Anyway, so then other talking points from the game you want to discuss?
Well, we had a couple of goals chalked off in the second half. One of them was a wonderful overhead kick from Kun, which was chalked off for offside, which looked offside. I think the first one though, Ida. Sorry, it wasn't Ida that scored. It was turned in as a known goal. Ida got a march on his centre half and put the ball in. Maida would have tapped it in, but the Motherwell defender turned it in. That was given as offside, and it was very, very close. So the goal was given, and then it went to VAR to look at the offside. And to use a very common Australianism to describe this, there was a bee's dick in it. That's how close it was. We're past 5 minutes, aren't we? Yeah, 27. Okay, cool. Yeah, that close. And I think it opens up the debate again. And I don't want to have this now, but I think it does open up the debate around whether those offside decisions should actually have a bit more of a, I guess, feel for the game, as opposed to just a, yes, it's offside or no, it's not. Because he was offside by a fraction with his shoulder. And I think in real time, I would not call that a howler of a decision that needs to be overturned. But they don't have any kind of, I guess, feel for the game when they make the decisions on offside. It's just get the little Microsoft Paint lines, and then it's either offside or it's not, and that's it. And maybe they need to look at having a bit of a understanding.
Yeah, I'm just trying to upload something here, Shane, so I can put on the screen. So if you want to waffle some more, feel free.
Well, there's a comment there about how the arm was offside just there from smell of the glove, which I can see. So they count the T-shirt part of the arm, I believe, or the shoulder, I should say, as being able to score from.
That's what you're talking about here. If I can get this on the screen, come on, bloody work with it there.
I don't know any balls to juggle.
It's similar to this, right? This is what they're saying, where you can see like the T-shirt part on the shoulder. I'm not saying this is actually what it is, but if you can score with your shoulder, or if you can score with your knee or your hip, if that's in front of the defender, then it's offside. So where the shoulder is highlighted, that's the good VAR, right? The good system for it.
That is the good system.
I'm trying to upload our bloody Etch-a-Sketch version, which is an absolute shambles.
Which we've got form at Fir Park with the Etch-a-Sketch Microsoft Paint lines. You remember under Ange, I think it was his second season with Jota that scored, and it was taken back from an offside from a camera angle that was at the moon.
Yeah, so that's what they're saying. If you look at the screen, there's legitimately like the arms, like the elbow, and the shoulder. You can't clear the ball with your elbow, but you can score with your shoulder. So that's what they're saying, right? Which makes no sense on that one.
Look at that linesman. He's right there. He's looking across the line.
There's other issue. You haven't even picked up on it yet, Shane.
The camera angle?
First of all, no. There's two issues. One, look at the line actually curves. If you look at it at the top of the screen compared to the bottom, it actually curves. Am I right? Or am I right?
I didn't pick up on this.
The top side of the line is actually behind Ida and the defenders.
Is it? Oh my God.
It actually curves. And the second thing, and the most important thing, is if that's the still they're using, where's the ball in this picture to see where the ball's being struck?
Well,
Probably pause at that still.
That's a very good point.
So if that's the still they're going to dish up and put the Etch-a-Sketch lines on and have curved lines and stuff, but there's no ball in that frame for you to be able to see that's when the pass was actually played, you're having a laugh.
It's a farce. You have to implement this properly. right? If you're going to go to this degree, you have to implement this properly. You have to find a way to make it happen. It's to have it chalked off for that, I found really frustrating. And I didn't mean to go on a VAR rant about it, but that's the kind of response it elicits when these decisions come up.
So Henrik McLaughlin saying Kun was offside, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that
That
one.
one was okay.
It's the Eder one that we just were going through there. McLaughlin saying Kun's overheader was excellent. And then you don't see many left-footed overhead kicks. Smell the glove is how was Eder's arm offside? You can't score with your arm. Yeah, they're talking about the shoulder. Yeah, so it's an absolute nightmare. The whole setup at the moment just makes no sense. And then Dermot is saying, I thought the striker got the benefit when it was close. Yeah, so did
I. They used to get the benefit pre the
Pre-VAR.
kind of the squiggle lines and pre-VAR in general, but now they just draw the lines, and it doesn't matter even if they overlap. If there's a slight discrepancy, that's it.
Typhoon McFlustery. Far out. I think VAR lines in Scotland are drawn by Michael J. Fox.
Well, it's been nice being on this pod.
No, we're going to get cancelled.
Yeah, that's it's good knowing you all. It's been a fun couple of years.
As someone said yesterday, they're using spirograph to draw the lines. Yeah, it was a bit of an interesting one there, Shane. So, yeah, the whole VAR thing, it's not ideal. Player focus, we've already gone through pretty much everyone we want to. So who was your man of the match? For me, it was Mader, a goal and 2 assists. It can't be anyone else.
Yeah, no, agree wholeheartedly. He was superb, and even if you take those things away, just the hard work, he was pressing really well in the first half. The second half, he was making himself available. He obviously played centrally in the second half. So when Yang came on for Eder, Jota moved out to the left, Yang went out into the right, Maeda played through the middle. So, we'll probably delve in this in a little bit of the discussion later, so I won't go in too much into it. But definitely Maeda. But I also want to give a shout out to Rio. I thought he was really good in the first half, and I thought he was excellent in the second half. In fact, I thought he was just basically bossed the game, really, in the second half. I thought he was tremendous. It felt like he was getting on everything. He was making things happen. Yeah, Rio, definitely second, but Maeda, a clear man of the match for me.
Yep, 100%. So, Shane, we've got Bayern Munich in the Champions League's knockout stages. Give us your thoughts on that while I upload some couple of other things to put on the screen.
Well, I was shocked. I can't believe Bayern are going to go out before the round of 16. That's incredible. I feel really sorry for them. It's bad luck. It was either them or Madrid, but one of them's got to take the one of them's got to have the bit of pill, I guess. Oh, look, in all honesty, they're an incredible team, and you want to go into this with as much hope and as positive thoughts as you can, but it's very difficult right now to see how we can get through this tie. I think anything can happen at Paradise. I always believe that when we play at home, we can make anything happen, but it's when we play away in Munich that I think it might be a little bit of at the Allianz that we might struggle a bit. But look, I'm just glad we've made it through this far. I'm not trying to make excuses, and I think anything can happen, and almost certainly believing we can get through. But I think if you look at it pragmatically, it's very difficult right now to see us competing at the level that they are.
So, my thoughts is kind of funny. Like, as I said the other day, Man City versus Madrid, they took the bullet for us there. But the thing for me is it's pretty simple. If we had Real Madrid, when you get them in the knockout stages in the Champions League, they just go up a couple of gears all the time. We would have got absolutely flogged, right? So I'm saying Real Madrid would probably a 1-2% chance of potentially not getting thumped. You play Bayern, those chances blow out a bit. I actually think we're a chance. We're a 5% chance. If we do well at home in the first leg and put all the pressure on them going into the second leg, then it's there to be played for. But I'm not saying we're not going to beat Bayern, But it'll be nice of them to, as you said, Shane, happily get knocked out for us, and then who's next? In the words of Bill Goldberg, who's next?
Well, honestly, if we were to get through this tie, you'd be very confident about whoever's next, right?
The way I look at it, Shane, as well, is if we can get into the first game in particular and do what Villa did to us and do what we did on the weekend, quick early goal, you're a puncher's chance. Get in there, have a crack early, get an early goal, then they're going to be, what the hell is this? Then our crowd, especially at home, is going to be on top of them. They're used to playing in front of big crowds, but they're not used to playing in front of a Celtic crowd on a Champions League night. That shit can be intimidating. So then the next thing you know, you're like, you get one, they may get rattled a little bit. Harry Kane, he's a bottle merchant at the best of times. What did you expect? He came from Tottenham. So
hey,
had to.
Got
so
him.
then you get a chance to get a second one early. If you can get two quick ones like what Villa did, suddenly the tie looks a lot more appetizing for us.
Well, not only does the early goals help, and I'm also going to lean on something we've talked about in previous Champions League fixtures. Sorry, taking your chances. When your chances present, you have to bury them. If you get even a half chance, you've got to score. You've got to take that chance. It's the only real way to put teams like Bayern, like Madrid, whoever we might face next, to put them under pressure is to take those chances. We can't be wasteful. If we're wasteful, it's not going to end well. And that's very simple, right? Sometimes football's, in some respects, a little bit of a simple game. If you get 3 chances and you take them, you're probably going to win, right? So that's how I can best sum it up.
Pretty basic way to look at it, but it makes perfect sense. And the thing as well with that is, well, we did it. We scored a couple of quick goals. We took chances. We didn't have many chances at Villa Park. But when they got the 4th goal, realistically, what's the difference in that situation between losing 3-2 or throwing bodies forward or making a risky pass or trying something to potentially go and get the draw? And we conceded the goal from Dane Murray's pass, and next thing you know, it's 4-2. No big deal there, no big issue. But at the same time, those 2 quick goals from Eder showing that we've got a striker there who on the big stage can take those goals and those opportunities and put them away. So I'm actually kind of excited, looking forward to this tie. As I said, I don't expect us necessarily to win it, but I think we're a shot.
What I most liked about the Villa game, not to get into that into great detail because you guys covered it on the Thursday sesh, but just the fact that we went 2-0 down and we're already safe, but Brendan and the team found the resolve in them. And Villa needed the win, right? They needed the win to get into top 8. So they couldn't really rest on their laurels. We didn't really have to press them, but we did. We found a way back into the game. We actually started to play some really decent football. I think we were quite shaky for 20 minutes, and it took a while to find our feet. But when we did, all of a sudden we started to play in their half a fair bit. And then there were a few little openings. But the 2 goals Eder took, particularly the first one, they're tough chances, right?
That was his Latin-esque, the way he got a foot up, Shane, and just in an awkward position and just bang, did it. That was very Zlatan style.
And that's what I mean. That's your half chance. You're probably not looking at that. If he doesn't score there, you go, oh, you go maybe just a bit too high for him. Maybe he couldn't get on the end of it. But that's a half chance that he takes, and we score from it. And all of a sudden the pressure builds, and we get the second. And that was the most pleasing thing. The fact that we lost 4-2, we definitely weren't disgraced at Villa Park. We had a very bad 10 minutes, and for 20 minutes, we struggled to find our feet. But outside of that, I definitely thought we gave it our all. And it was actually a performance that we can take a lot of encouragement from, which you're definitely taking as we look forward to knocking Bayern out, which is excellent.
Yep, 100%. We're going to knock you out. Jota said knock you out. There you go. That's another song version for you. One for the songbook. There you go. So, that was terrible. Jerry, yes, Liam is still going to be on the pod. He's just not here at the moment because he's trying to sort out stuff for with his whole work situation. So he's been at the City Hall today sorting some stuff out. So he's not here. But he's doing the Axon blog and as his full-time job, and will still be on the Celtic Down Under podcast, so don't worry about that. So, Shano, let's get into it, I suppose. Transfer time. We're all watching airport stuff. Look at us. It's happening, apparently. So, private jet from Faro coming into Glasgow, due in at 2:08 p.m. Oh, who could be on that plane, I wonder? Who do you think that is, Shane?
I think quite clearly, no, that's not going to work. I just
It's
realised.
Savage Garden, Shane. That's who it is. It's the Savage Garden, not the Fist Garden. Coming in because they truly, madly, deeply wanting to sign for Celtic. There you go.
I failed to recognise that. I was going to make a joke about Queen Mary and then realised she's the Queen of Denmark, and I was like, that's not going to work. So, and then you went with the Savage Garden thing, and I should have played you in and got that all mixed up.
Nah, terrible. Anyway, so the rumours are the private jet's coming in from Faro, Portugal, which is where Brondby are on a warm weather camp at the moment. So the talk is it's Fist Garden coming to town to sign as Kyogo's replacement. Talk is it's going to be around £10 million to £12 million plus add-ons. If my view on it is pretty simple. If we could have got him for $8 million and then we sold Kyogo, we're our own worst enemy if we have to spend a couple extra million because everyone knows we got cash because of the Kyogo being sold. So we're our own worst enemy. It's the absolute stupidity of the Celtic recruitment model that you don't get the replacement in before selling. But that's Celtic Football Club, I suppose. But if we've been scouting Chris Garden the best part of a year and a half, and he's the guy Brendan wants, then pay the money, get him in. That's the way I look at it. It's that simple. What's your thoughts, Shane?
I've been distracted by a couple of the nominations of people who are on the plane in the comments. So
here we go. What do we got? Trying to find them. Oh, God, no. Lagerbelk is coming back from his holidays. It's Bono. We've got Carlton Cole flying in on loan. Jeez, this is interesting. Now, this one's actually believable. From McLaughlin, Izagiri as an emergency left-back cover.
Wouldn't say no at this point.
As long as it's not John Joe Kenny or Jeremy Tolyan or someone like that or Ollie Burke, I think it's kind of okay.
Oh, dear. Look, I agree with your summation about it. If this is the man that Brendan has scouted, let's get him in. I probably lean a bit on you here. I must admit, I'm familiar with him to a degree, but don't know him as in-depth as what you've gone into when you've looked into him. So I'm definitely wanting someone who can come in and actually lead the line. So that's something I've been pretty big on with the leaving of Kyogo, is having someone coming in and playing that 9 role. As much as I don't see Maeda doing it, I think it's a possibility. We did see it at the weekend for about 10 minutes. Brendan played him up top. He actually had, when you think about the goal he scored from the header as well, not exactly someone, not exactly too dissimilar from someone who'd actually lead the line. So, I came onto this pod going, I don't really want Maeda playing and leading the line, but he had a game where he effectively did that very well. Look, I just want someone in who can lead the line in place of Kyogo, and I've been really big on that. I don't want someone who's going to be another winger. If Sis Garden is coming in to do that, fantastic, I'm all on board. But if we're signing someone to play out wide again, I'm a little bit nervous.
So there's a couple little things to look at here, Shane. One, Chris Garden can play wide left, he can play in the middle, and he can play as a 10. All right, so those are his 3 best positions. Secondly, he's good at leading the line, good in the air, good with the ball at the ground. So he ticks a lot of those boxes. Third thing, what you said, Maeda knows how to lead. Looks like he knows how to lead the line. Well, who starts over Kyogo for the Japanese national team leading the line? So the combination is, and then once Maeda went to striker, how good did Jota look when he moved over to the left?
Oh, fantastic. He was looking good on the right, but when he went to the left, he had the ball on the string.
So it's one of those ones where I look at it and go, are we getting Fiskgarden in to play striker and then going with Maeda and Jota purely on the left? Are we going to play Maeda as a striker and go down the path of another rumour, which is Sondre Orsetta is still being linked with a possible last minute deal. There's your left winger. You know, if him and Jota on the left, Maeda, Eder in the middle, and then who's backing up on the right? Yang, you know, Jota backing up or bouncing over there as well. And you can still bring Orsetta in that way because Jamesy looks like he's going to be out a bit longer. So there's plenty of options there. And we could potentially have Kvistgarden in and we could have Orsetta in today. I think we'll get 3 in today. That's just my gut feel.
What I probably didn't consider until you sort of outlaid it like that was probably the dynamism we get by signing Fistgarden, who can lead the line or play on the wing. Then you've obviously got Maeda, who plays on the wing but can lead the line. And then you've got Eder. And then all of a sudden you've got like 3 options that you can run with, right? So you've got Maeda, you can have Fistgarden out there, you can switch them. Or, you know, Eder leads the line initially, then comes off for Maeda. You move Maeda across from the left, then you bring Fistgarden in or Jota in. All of a sudden, the dynamic there is really impressive. So you've managed to sort of. I was really negative about this, but now after going through it with you, I can really see a lot of positives.
I haven't even got into the half of it, Shane. There's still 2 more positions I want to talk about, which the
Fire
rumours
away,
are.
sir.
So the next one is apparently there was talks between Celtic and Motherwell that occurred at yesterday's game for us to possibly sign Lennon Miller. So for me, this is some good forward planning if it comes off. I don't think we'd sign him and then have him come in this season, but I think he's a potential guy that would bring him in. And then if, say, Rio gets a move in the summer, we've already got his replacement signed. He ticks a box for Europe, and it's a smart move. But there's talk of him as well. So not only are we addressing our wing play, our strikers, we're strengthening the midfield. So as I'm saying, bring in a player before you sell. And then the other one, and this is the doozy, will we sign a left back today, Shane? Will it be KT or someone else on loan? And the reason I'm going with that is at the moment we have Greg Taylor at left back, and the only options for us are Scales gives him a chop out, or if we're getting desperate, we can play Rio there because he won Player of the Year or something in the J League playing as a left back. Those are our only options at the moment. Now, talk is we wanted Kieran Tierney to come in now, and that prick Mikel Arteta wouldn't let him come in because he wanted him for depth because he's selling Zinchenko to Dortmund. Well, apparently that's fallen through. So it's a watch this space. We could actually still have KT in today. If not, hopefully we could possibly get someone in on loan, or do we go for like a Matt Anderson or a Mitchell Frame and give one of our young guys a chance as a backup? What do you think we should do in the left back situation? Are we going to sign someone?
If it's not KT, we're bringing someone in on loan. I'm pretty much leaning directly into that. I still think KT with that breakdown with Zivchenko is a possibility to come in now. I'm quite excited that could actually now eventuate. But if it doesn't, I'm almost certain we'll bring in a left back on loan. I just can't see. It's quite clear Brendan's taking Taylor off now very frequently to have Scales there as some sort of fallback insurance plan to play at left back when needed. But I don't think Brendan is looking at that as the main option going forward. I'm not convinced he would bring in an Anderson or a Frame just yet to take on that role. So I'm definitely convinced we're going to bring someone in on loan. Who that would be, I'm not too sure. I'd always hope for Geordie Boss, of course, which we've talked about ad nauseum. I've heard nothing on that, so I don't think that's happening. But yeah, we'll definitely bring in a left back. It's either Kieran Tierney or someone on loan. Just wanted to comment very quickly on the Lennon Miller stuff. I've been really encouraged by the movements there in those talks, and obviously I've loved the way McCowan's come in, how we've signed someone else from another Premiership club, brought them into the fold and what they're contributing. I'm really excited to actually look for some more local talent as well from clubs like Motherwell and Leonard Miller and others and actually bring them into the fold. So I think that's going to be an excellent signing, not just from the forward planning, but just the fact that we're looking to bring in some more local players. So really, really, really buoyed by that news about Leonard Miller. Hopefully that gets over the line.
There's one other guy. If we want to go down the Scottish route, I'm still big on Jack McKenzie from Aberdeen. Big 6'3" left back. Ticks the box for domestic trained, so association trained. He's out of contract at the end of the season. We constantly talk about how small our back line is. Well, if you put someone that size in at left back, he could potentially do a job as well. So I'm big on him. The talk is that apparently it's going to cost, like, Tierney's wages the rest of the season at Arsenal is £2.5 million for the rest of the season, right? So if they're just going to get him to be third stringer and just sit there for £2.5 million, it's done. But they got stupid TV money. But apparently they're wanting $5 million for him to come in now. So I can understand Lawwell's probably gone, I don't have that in my ashtray. That means I'm going to have to turn my heater driveway off for a little while if we were to do that. So
it's not the time of year to do it over there either.
And
turn the heater driveway off.
MT Salts is making a good point here. The left back at Hearts is a good shout too.
Name escapes me.
Spoke about him the other day. I'm just going to mental blank as well, Shane. So yeah, it's he scored a goal against us, I think it was. What do we got? Lineups. Penrice.
Yeah, you have mentioned Penrice a couple of times, actually. He did score against us.
Yep. So, yeah, that's a good shout, MT Salts. Love it. So, apparently we knocked back $500K from West Ham for Cummings this morning as well. He wants to sign down a pre-contract. So, yeah. Pork Chop Express, I agree with you as well. Tell Arsenal to fuck off. Get him in the summer and show him the finger. Just that miserable prick Arteta. But as Mazzano's saying, Tierney will be home tonight. I reckon he will as well.
I've got confidence it's gonna fashion its way to us.
I was saying we're gonna get 3 in, Shane. The 3 I'm saying we're gonna get in now. We're gonna get Chris Garden, we're gonna get Orsetta, we're gonna get KT in. We're also gonna sign Leonard Miller, but we're gonna loan him for the rest of the season, so he's technically not in the door now. That's what I'm thinking. But even if we don't do that, we don't have to sign Miller today. We can, if we're going to keep him at Motherwell, we can just be like, all right, sign those 3. And then in a week's time, sign Miller and just have it as a pre-contract for the next transfer window. That's something that Celtic don't do, but that's something a lot of German clubs do. They'll identify a player they want. They'll sign them 2 months before the next window. So that as soon as it's ready, bang, in they come when the window opens. Why don't we look at doing that?
I think we should. But I think the areas we've highlighted today are the 2 key areas we need, right? Which is we need someone that can come in and lead the line, and we need a left back. And in particular, those 2 things have come up for a little while now. And so I'd like to think that the club and everyone involved with actually recruiting players there have seen this and gone, don't worry, we've got a plan. Might take until the last minute. That's okay. Some of these things do. Good things come to those who wait.
So, Shane, if we complete all the signings that we just spoke about, are you happy with that? Me, I think we'll be coming out of the transfer window stronger than we went into it if we manage to bring in, even if we brought in Kvistgarden, we got Jota in, and we bring in Tierney. If we were to bring in those 3, we've come out of the window a lot stronger than we went in. If you add Orsetta into it as well, we're absolutely flying. Would you be happy with that? Do you think we'd come out of it stronger?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. If we could just tick, for me, it's just the 2 boxes, which is a player to lead the line and a left back. If we tick those 2 boxes, particularly with KT as the left back, I'm pretty sure Kvistgarden's pretty much a done deal. Then, yeah, I'm very happy with that. And I think that we do come out of it a lot stronger. And we strengthen the areas we need to. And that's been something that we haven't necessarily done a lot of in recent history. So I'd be very happy with that.
How funny would it be, a mass reveal where you come in and all of a sudden it's like Celtic don't announce them individually. They just go, Celtic have signed bang, and there's a picture of like 4 guys holding a shirt under the disco lights on Celtic Park. They take a picture and just upload that, and they list them all in one go. That would be like an absolute, like when they brought in Maida, Rio, and what was it, Itaguchi at the same time, and we announced the 3 of them in one picture. Do that, but a strength of that sort of level, yeah, it'd be crazy.
Didn't we do that also, not to rekindle bad memories, but didn't we also do that for the window where we got John Joe Kenny in and stuff like that?
I can't answer that. That's been blacked out in my brain.
It was either that window or the window after in the 2021 season. There was one of them where we did a very similar thing. I think Barkas might have been in that one as
Yeah,
well, and it was like, oh
Marcus,
god,
Diego Laxalt, Shane Duffy, those guys in one go.
that's it. Sorry, I'm thinking of that window. Yeah, that was yeah. The less said about that, the better.
Yeah, thanks for putting me in that headspace now, Shane. You prick.
I aim to
Yeah.
please.
So Wednesday night we're playing Dundee at Celtic Park. How are you feeling heading into the game?
Pretty confident, all things considered. I'm pretty buoyed by the performance at Motherwell. I think Dundee themselves will be pretty confident as well. Although, that said, they did get pounded 6-0 at home to Hearts, so maybe that confidence is going to be pretty severely dinted. I thought they'd be confident because they held us to a point at Dens not too long ago. And, yeah, maybe not. Look, I'm really keen to see if we keep a similar starting 11 to start with. Like, I want to see McCowan get another run. I'd love to see Jota start if he's available. I'd love to see if he can actually start the match this time. But yeah, look, feeling really confident. I was really impressed by the performance at Motherwell and the performance against Villa to a degree. So I'm expecting more of the same.
Sweet. So next one I'd ask you would be, what new signings are you hoping we'll have in place before this game? Well, I think we just spoke about them, right? So the window's going to shut. So hoping there's another striker in. Whether they start or on the bench doesn't bother me. Hope there's another left back in, and yeah, I'll be happy with that.
Yeah, at the very least, if we do bring in Svissgarden and KT, at the very least one of them to start, which is probably going to be Svissgarden. I think KT they might. You think KT?
I think it'll be KT starting, if anything, and Chris Garden will have to come off the bench in Ernie's spot because Ida is in some form at the moment.
Okay.
But then you're not going to want to spend the club record on a striker and then not start him. So it's a bit of a...
Yeah, I just saw it a little bit differently, but I tell you what, it'd be you get an absolute packed house midweek if you had KT starting in the lineup, though. How exciting would that be?
No. Go one better, Shane. Imagine if you started on the left and you had Jota, the returning hero, with the other returning hero behind him, with Tierney, and then, it'd be absolutely hilarious. But as I've said as a joke before, who else is out of contract in the off-season we can sign? Do we bring Edouard back into the club as another striker? Does someone ring up Virgil and go, hey, you want to come back for a laugh? No chance in hell we'd sign him, but make the call.
Getting the band back together.
Imagine if you managed to land all of them. I'd be like, far out, what's going on here?
I think you can tell by the way we're talking, we're all pretty confident about midweek.
Yeah, pretty much. So key areas for us to focus on. I just think it's going to be keep a clean sheet and take our chances going forward. Keep the speed of play up. That's the key thing. That's what I'm expecting our game plan to be. Keep the speed of play, whether it's our press or moving the ball, and keep our defensive shape. No stupid mistakes from us this time around.
Absolutely. So obviously, a couple of weeks ago, a couple of mistakes led them to get a point. So obviously stamping those out and seeing if we can actually keep them at bay. But I also think a little bit left field, and it was mentioned in the comments earlier, I think this is the perfect game where I would actually rest Calmac. I would actually put Bernardo in and play him in the 6 and have Calmac either coming off the bench or just having a night off. This is exactly the game that I would do that.
I'm just going to address this comment so I don't lose it. Empty Salts is saying, I'm not sure it will be anyone this late. Rogers has always said he likes Maida as a striker, not as a winger. That's a massive clue how this is going to go. If that's the case, empty Celts, then we may not have Fistgarden come in, but we'll have Orsetta come in because we need two wingers. So that's how I see that playing out.
If that plane diverts to where Horsegarden is,
Norway.
then you might know. Yeah, there you go. So if the plane overshoots and goes to Norway instead.
Yeah, so Maddie's agreeing with you, Shane. So, yep, give him a night off. We all agree. Mazzano is saying, help these Aussie Tims out with a like. Appreciate each and every one of you who does that. So, you give us a thumbs up, you get 2 back right here.
4.
There you go. Make 4. There you go.
4. There you go.
And, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, how it all plays out. So, Shane, starting lineup and your score prediction.
So I'm going a very similar lineup to what we saw at Fir Park. I'm going Schmeichel in goal, Taylor left back, Trusty and Carter Vickers, as you call them, Team America, as the centre halves.
Fuck yeah. That's why I do it.
I'm saying, yeah, I'll keep Ralston at right back. I think Ralston keeps his spot. Midfield 3, Hatate, McCowan, and Bernardo taking a spot of Kelmac. And up front, I'm going to keep the hot hands. So Ida leading the line, Mader on the left, and Kun on the right.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Only thing I'd be looking at going is maybe AJ in for Ralston. That's about it. Everything else I'd go probably the same as you. So score prediction, 3-0.
I reckon 4-0. I definitely think we'll keep a clean sheet, and I think we can put 4 past them.
So my goal scorers will be Ida with a double, and Kun's going to hit some absolute worldy, like back heel, scorpion sort of goal, and it's going to like ricochet in off the post onto the back of the keeper and in.
Well, I'm going 4-0. I'm going Jota to score the first, and obviously I said he's not starting, so it's going to be 0-0 at half-time, but I made the commitment that he was going to be our 100th goal scorer, so I'm trying to walk this back in some capacity. I'm going to say 4 second-half goals, 4-0 win, Jota the first, Ida with a double, and I'm going to go someone a little bit left field. I'll go Hatate with the 4th.
Yeah, mate, fair enough. So, Shane, we'll go to our final thought to end the pod. So, you got anything for us?
Oh, look, started the pod with it. I'm going to end the pod with it. I'm going to point to the jersey behind me. I'm just going to say to Luca, thank you for an amazing 7 seasons at the Mavs. He's been an incredible player to watch. I do not know how the Mavs are going to go without him. It's just not going to be the same. And I think it's a decision that the Mavs front office is going to regret considerably. I think it's a terrible move, but all the best, Luca. Thanks for an amazing 7 seasons.
So my final thought, Shane, is I'm going to take the piss out of you. At the start, when we're talking about Kelmac, 500 games, and you said 500, here's to 500 more. All I have to say is at the moment, he's currently sitting 322 games behind our club record holder in Billy McNeil on 822 appearances for the club. So if he does 500 more, you're going to have your club record holder right there. So, I don't know. I just want to have a bit of a chuckle at that going 500 more. Doubtful, mate. Doubtful. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Check out these pictures of Jota as we wind it down. And hail, hail.
Hail, hail.